Imagineer Ken Anderson was assigned to the project of the ominous and spooky attraction. He was instructed to follow in what Goff had initially designed, the neglected, decrepit exterior of the manor with wrought iron gates, broken shutters, and chipped paint. The interior would include a similar neglectful atmosphere. However, the idea of anything decrepit at Disneyland was out of the question for Walt Disney. His park was to exhibit new and innovative attractions while keeping up with a nostalgic and vintage taste. This meant Imagineers had to creatively blend a rundown exterior with class and maintenance. Unlike many of the existing rides at the time, Dumbo the Flying Elephant or Peter Pan's Flight, the Haunted Mansion was not inspired by a film, but rather from a conglomerate of ideas from Imagineers and Walt himself. Due to this, Anderson believed the mansion needed a storyline for guests to follow, and wrote out several concepts to do just that. The first was about a sea captain named Captain Gurr, who planned to marry a young woman named Priscilla. When she learns that her future husband was a nefarious pirate, the captain kills his fiancée, unable to risk the truth of his past life being public. Priscilla then haunts the captain until he eventually takes his own life by hanging. An article by Mental Floss reported that Anderson originally wanted the attraction to be a walkthrough, with maids and/or butlers guiding guests through the mansion, telling the story of Captain Gurr and his soon-to-be bride. The second concept was based on the Bloodmere Manor, which tells a much darker tale than originally intended. Plans were considered to move a well-known paranormal 18th century manor from Louisiana to Disneyland. However, this was thought to be too scary for guests. Another concept was based on the legend of Sleepy Hollow, following the story of Ichabod Crane and the Headless Horseman. However, animator Mark Davis contradicted the idea of a single story narrative. He thought a series of vignettes, short and standalone scenes with similar themes, could move the attraction along in a more exciting way. And yet a third animator, Ronald Rolly Crump, would add his thoughts on what the manor should be like. His idea was to make it as unique and spooky as possible.
First of all, when I was first introduced to join WED, as a designer, I didn't have a clue what I was going to do, and they didn't know what to do with me, So they were probably buying imagination. I mean, that's about all I had to offer. So the first assignment, the real assignment that I ever got, was to work on the Haunted Mansion with Yale Gracie. Yale Gracie was hired at the same time I was to work at WED. Yale was a layout man. And so we were put into a great big room, and we were to just come up with ideas that might go into the mansion. And so we did. We spent a solid year developing illusions and doing all kinds of wonderful stuff.